The 1992 Bankfin Currie Cup final was the scene of yet another shattering disappointment for Transvaal rugby. 1 point in it, but that point was sufficient to give Natal skipper Val Bartman his moment of triumph. For Jannie Breert, tears of frustration. His team seemed destined to remain the bridesmaid, the cup forever beyond its grasp. Jannie Breert retired and Francois Pienaar took over the captaincy for the 1993 season. He and coach Kit Christie, who had moved from Pretoria late the previous season, soon impacted on the Mnet Night Series, which was hosted by Ellis Park in March. Transvaal duly thrashed Namibia 76-13 to set up a semi-final meeting with London Harlequins, a side that boasted a number of English internationals. The Red Lions were in superb form, running in 5 tries without reply.
Henny LaRue spreading it wide, Wiggett. And out it goes to Peter Hendricks, he evades. Wedderburn, and down the touchline he goes, this could be dangerous. Peter Hendricks is flying, and Peter Hendricks will score. Wonderful move by Transvaal. Transvaal has been picked up by Dion Lotte at the base, puts it inside to McDonald, to Transvaal skipper Francois Pienaar just short of the line. Now it comes down, and Willie Smith herring for the try line.
Just a Val Bartman taking 3 or 4 of them with him there, Simon. Absolutely incredible driving. Francois Pienaar at the back of the lineouts.
And he moves to the gap, and this is dangerous. Looking for support. He runs out of it. Now he gets it back. Wiggett. And it comes to Yakolo. Inside to Wiggett again. Looking for Mulder, but not finding him. Yakolo picking up and carrying on the movement here. McDonald going for the try line. Durant has it. Quivers Visser. And Quivers Visser might just make it. No, brought down just short. Durant again. Now Bali Swart trying to drive through. Peter Durant. Hampered in trying to get that ball out, picked up by Wiggett, and he's going for the try line. Desperate defence and very solid defence by the Harlequins.
The final score 39-9 to Transvaal. Northern Transvaal had meanwhile thrashed the South African Barbarians 33-9 in the other semi-final to secure their place in the March the 19th final. The Blue Bulls were the decided underdogs that night. Prolific point scorer Nas Botha had also decided to quit the game at top level. His number 10 jersey going to Chris Murray. It was a dour struggle in wretched conditions.
Peter Durant, Henny LaRue, gejaagd deur Yakolo. Transvaal het steeds beheer van die bal, Henny Wiggett. Eerste keer dat hy die bal vat. Maar deurkom kans is min. Kyk hoe klim Kobus Wiese in, Driekus Attengaar hou in sy gesig kry.
Sy president Dr. Louis Leitz die bo hou ek seker sy duime vas.
Telling gaan gelyk op wees as hy met hierdie skop slaag. Dis 'n belangrike skop vir Transvaal. Hy het hom goed getref, die bal is op.
The honours were finally shared at 12 points apiece, all those points coming from the boot. But Transvaal had learned valuable lessons from this disappointment. Lessons that would be put to good use in the Top Sport Super 10 series. This competition, the first of its kind, matched the 10 most formidable teams in the Southern Hemisphere. The top sides from New Zealand, Western Samoa, Australia, and of course South Africa were involved. Transvaal's opening fixture on the 3rd of April was a return encounter with Northern Transvaal at Loftus Versfeld. This time the Red Lions played to their potential, running in 3 tries to 1.
Maria, well recovered by Frobler, but they were in all sorts of trouble as Yapi Mulder gets the pass out to Henny LaRue. The little push through. We haven't seen too much of Peter Hendricks. He's right up there. The Transvaalers are right on the spot, and the try is awarded. And it's Bernard Fourie, who followed up that kick ahead extremely well. There's a little bit of an argument going on there amongst the Northern Transvaalers and the Transvaalers. I think it was Peter Hendricks and Bali Swart right up in the thick of things.
Well, this is what pressure does to any side. First the charge down, second charge down. Now watch how well the Transvaal has kept it available, and then good option there by Henny LaRue. The bounce didn't always favour the Transvaalers, but then it was that lovely pick-up by Bernard Fourie and tremendous work rate from the Transvaal centre. Just watch the pressure here from the Transvaalers, and that's been exerted the whole match. and then plus the support work. A little chip through, and then Bernard Fourie, who was at the back, just toward for good support play.
Pienaar has gone a little bit wide. He's between Henny LaRue now. This is a ball for the forwards here. MacDonald, enormous pace and power. Good ball for Roux as he switches direction again. Help from Dion Lotta for the ball carrier. There's Kobus Wiese, number 4, MacDonald going in as well. This is a good chance for Roux. Has he the power to get over? Great defense, MacDonald!
That was very much a confidence move there from Transvaal. There's the man that started it, Ian MacDonald, and he was the man to finish it as well. Good play here by Uli Schmidt. Just watch how well he stays on his feet, gets the ball to the right man, then the drive in, and there's MacDonald, number 7. Watch Johan Roux, looks up, finds a little gap on the inside, and then the little flip pass to the big number 7.
Transvaal calling the short line out. Swart, Strydom, LaRue and Lotta making the catch. Strydom with the help. Transvaal still trying to drive on the short side. Now opening it up a little bit. Couldn't find LaRue, but finds Pienaar. Strong handoff. This is Roux. He's got Uli Schmidt on the outside. He's looking for Peter Hendricks. Ran beautifully off the ball. MacDonald. Lotta gets in.
35 years of age, playing his 50th match for Transvaal. Dion Lotta, an outstanding match along with Johan Roux at scrum half today for Transvaal. The pickup came from Francois Pienaar, nicely off his feet, little handoff, but just watch how well, tremendous support play there was there. And Roux just running far enough and finding a man on his inside, and then Lotta, well, he's got strength close to the line.
Wanneer Strydom met die pragtige blou oog daar. Ian MacDonald doen goeie werk op nummer 7 vir Transvaal. Roux. Henny LaRue. Skepskoppoging van sy kant af. En dit is in die goal. Henny LaRue, die man wat beskou word as moontlik die opvolger in die Springbokspan van Hans Botha, sy agterlyn vanmiddag goed gebruik. 39-22 met 5 minute speeltyd wat oor is. Jy sien waar die spel begin vir Transvaal. Goeie besit in die voorspel in eerste fase.
The 42-22 point spread underscored Transvaal's dominance, but tougher challenges awaited as the race in Pool B hotted up. By the 8th of May, only New South Wales could stop the Red Lions' march to a Super 10 final at Ellis Park. The Australians, who had lost only one game, that to the Blue Bulls, had to win by more than 7 points to stay in the running. The fans turned out in force in Sydney, and it was clear from the whistle that Francois Pienaar's men had a game on their hands.
Now they roll it to the right. This is tremendous play, and it's Strydom taking it upfield for Transvaal. This is ideal. That's Pienaar coming off the back. This is wonderful play in the opening minutes. Uli Schmidt sets it again. Roux darting away. Henny LaRue caught just outside the New South Wales goalpost. That's Bernard Fourie, so close to the New South Wales line. A terrific start after New South Wales didn't control the ball from the kick-off. Uli Schmidt, is he held up? It's a try. That's the start that Transvaal wanted. And Uli Schmidt, the South African Springbok hooker, makes his stamp on this match so early in the first half. But Simon, it was the lack of control from the kick-off that has cost New South Wales dearly.
Classic start by Transvaal here. Uli Schmidt really powering his way over. Phil Kearns trying to pull him down. But it did start from the kick-off. New South Wales lost control. Here we come back to the try. Uli Schmidt from this close to the line. He's a very, very proud player. He's pushed his way over. But great control by Transvaal. They kept the ball in hand, switched the play beautifully, and the resultant first try, and it put New South Wales under a lot of pressure.
Well, the son of another former famous Springbok in his father Louis, who was a flanker for the Springboks in the 1960s, one of 5 father and son combinations to wear that famous Springbok jersey. Uli Schmidt, we've heard so much about him in Australia, and so early in this match in Sydney in his debut in New South Wales, has made his mark in this Super 10 match. Now, Theo van Rensburg played fly half against North Harbour, very versatile player. Played against the Australians last year at Newlands in Cape Town, and the scorer of over 320 points in Transvaal colours. He's a wonderful striker of the football, and he does not let his team down here today at the Waratah Rugby Stadium, and he edges the Transvaal side to a 7-0 lead over New South Wales.
Thank you, Scrum.
I suppose, as our producer points out, a threatening bit would mean nothing to the people in South Africa or France. We should mention that for the very small coins in our previous currency before we went decimal back in 1965-66. Now, Henny LaRue with the drop goal and his kick, and I thought it couldn't be long before it was forthcoming. And that really has put New South Wales out of the Super 10 final. Henny LaRue with the drop goal, and he struck it so well.
The South Africans cut things desperately close. 10-3 the final score, just good enough to ensure a final berth against Auckland, who had beaten Natal 22-6 to make sure of honours in Pool A. The final was scheduled for Ellis Park on the 22nd of May, and for once the dice were loaded in Transvaal's favour. New Zealanders, however, represented an awesome challenge, for numbered in their ranks were a number of All Blacks, inclusive of Captain Sean Fitzpatrick. But Transvaal too had their stars, among them fiery hooker Uli Schmidt, who was to have a terrific year. Not only did Schmidt prevent Terry Wright scoring with a match-saving tackle and clearance, but his 2 tries proved to be the difference between victory and defeat.
Was needed there. Uli Schmidt has an opportunity. Uli Schmidt is going to score. Uli Schmidt going over there, perhaps just looking to try and work the man out of the way and get over under the poles. But first blood to Transvaal. Just look at the adulation on the face there of Uli Schmidt, but some good play there by the Transvaal forwards, and in particular Henny LaRue.
Well, this was great play by Johan Rood, just deciding to go on the blind side. Van Rensburg, now watch how Peter Hendricks keeps the ball alive. He wasn't held in the tackle. Francois Pinot goes in very quickly. Now Uli Schmidt waits for the player to come on the dart. It was Henny LaRue. They opened it up again, taken on by the big man Visa. Now they will work it down the short side again. Lovely play by Ian MacDonald as he got his hands over the tackle. Good thinking by Bali Swart, and what a dummy that was. Well, perhaps you can lose the ball in that situation. Uli Schmidt might have made a bit more sure of ground in that, but he's a competitive, aggressive player. Cheer van Rensburg just taking a little longer with his preparation, and that is good. Well, Uli Schmidt scored against New South Wales, and he's done it again here.
Well, once again, indicative of the all-round effort. Some lovely passing there. Ian MacDonald did extremely well. Perhaps the Aucklanders could be... Could have tackled inside there, the ball carrier themselves. Just look at the adulation there. Well, saving grace there for Transvaal. Ian MacDonald, who took the ball there from Ferensberg, was not able to retain control of it. And he has a great opportunity here for Auckland to get some points on the board.
And I said that that kick was too far. It was perfect by Fox. Michael Jones at the back. Mutu Alicia's gone off. There he is. He gets quick hands to Fox. Through the hands. He has a chance for Tuigamala. It's very difficult to stop in this situation, and they don't stop him. Well, you saw the heave and sigh of relief there by Steve McDowell, but you don't give that man that amount of room.
Well, a very timely try. Michael Jones with the pickup, who's been rather quiet in this first half. Now just watch how quickly the ball moves through the hands there of the backs. Shane Howarth with a final pass. Tuigamala, nothing stopping him in that situation. A scrum in the middle of the field is always dangerous for any defending side. There was the little flick through, very cleverly done. And then Van Rensburg just expecting Tuigamala to go to the outside, but despite the attentions there of Ian MacDonald right at the death, no opportunity for Transvaal.
Well, a very good fight back by Auckland. It started with that pinpoint up and under by Grant Fox. And also a lovely little opportune dart into the back line there by Shane Howarth, who put Tuigamala away. Second highest scorer in Test history, of course. Michael Liner has the honour. Right into the sun. And he likes it, and so do the touch judges. Well, the referee's whistle has gone for half-time. It was a very good fight back by Auckland to come back. They were looking a little leg weary at 10 points to 0, but showing their courage and their great pride and tradition. The referee's whistle has gone. As I said, a goal and a penalty to that goal. Very important conversion by Grant Fox, and we will join you for the second half. It's still Auckland attack. Nutu Alicia just going on the dart. Now it's to Stensness. He's got an open line in front of him. It's going to be under the uprights. Brilliantly worked try. And Stensness loves it. One of the most promising players in New Zealand. And so do some of the people in the crowd.
Well, the ploy was for Fox running off camera there to go blindside. Then the little run across there. Now watch how the gap opens for Stensness. Believe me, he's got tremendous pace off the mark. And then, of course, the little sidestep on the inside. Just fulfilling the promise that he's shown in New Zealand. And as a combination, him and Ronnie Clark have had an excellent game today with the few opportunities that they have had. Certainly looked full of running. And a very good ploy there, but an excellent effort too by Nutu Alicia. And this is the conversion from Grant Fox right under the poles, a mere formality for him.
Well, it was good pressure play by Auckland. They'd driven Transvaal back down into their 22 by using the short side and Tuigamala. And little Nutu Alicia did some good running as the gap opened up. Watch how he darts away from the scrum, and then Stensness comes through. There's acres of ground, a huge gap. Just the shake to the one side, and Van Rensburg left for dead.
Nothing serious to report.
Wake up! Wake up! Go right 5, go in 5. Keep it on. Come in. Come back. Go!
Now Transvaal are going to be under pressure as the time goes on. This is Theo van Rensburg gets it away to Dirks. Good tackle by Howarth, who's been solid as a rocket fullback. Picked up by Bernard Fourie for Transvaal. McDonald goes in and he gets the possession. LaRue and Pinar's in the back line, and he gets through the middle, and he's got Bali Swart on his inside in support, and he couldn't find enough red and white jerseys around him. And a long pass out to Theo van Rensburg. Julie Schmidt is on the outside. Fourie trying to boss him. Now it's Henny LaRue. Now Julie Schmidt is in for a second try. He was hovering on the left, hovering, and finally he got the ball. The Transvaal has managed to work it out to him. He positioned himself beautifully, and the crowd love it.
Well, full credit for that initial thrust there by Francois Pinar. Then there was the little flip. Watch Pinar now on the inside, finding space. Not enough men except Bali Swart close to him. He couldn't pick up Yapi Mulder, who was at the backside of him. Mulder was the man who helped get it out. And then the long pass to Van Rensburg. Watch how well the little inside pass to Bernard Fourie, just as his jersey tugged. And then the thrust there by LaRue. Well, that was great effort there by the fly half in getting that pass out to Schmidt. And once again, full credit. Uli Schmidt always in the game.
Well, Theo van Rensburg's had some pressure kicks in his life. He had to kick in the Currie Cup final to win the game for Transvaal. He had one in the dying seconds for South Africa in Toulouse. He kicked that one. He missed the one in the Currie Cup final, and he's missed this. Well, it's been a battle royal. Just 2 points the difference.
Just watch how well LaRue gets that pass of his after he was scragged there. And then Uli Schmidt, well, he needs no introduction to any try line.
Jones has come off the back of the scrum and is buttoning down the blind side. You can see him on the far side there. There's the man with the socks around his ankles. LaRue. Dan have a move on the go. Now LaRue gets through the gap and he finds Yapi Mulder on the inside. Can Yapi Mulder find men and support? He tries to get it back to Johan Roo. I think it's gone forward. Still the Transvaal players drive. The referee has allowed the try. And the last man up is the skipper, Francois Pinard. Congratulations from his fellow loose forwards. Well, we'll just have to look very closely. Did that ball go forward, Gavin?
Well, this is a great thrust through the midfield there. Watch how LaRue runs across the field. The ploy coming, he's so quick off the mark. And then Mulder, who's also got pace, he might have thought about going on the outside, decided to keep inside, and obviously there was plenty of shouting there from his fellow players. Pinar, ever present at the point of breakdown, was the man with the final thrust. From behind the poles, we'll get a better picture of just how well LaRue got through there. Desperate tackle there from Grant Fox, who was guilty of not bringing his man down. Through it went. There's Pinar with the ball now in hand. Well, nothing stopping him.
Well, Auckland have been in this situation before where they've played in cup finals. They've had such a wonderful record. Talking to Brian Williams when we came out with the West Samoan team, he was giving me a little bit of the background on Auckland, and who will forget the side they had in 1987 when New Zealand won the World Cup with the Wetton brothers and magnificent players in their side, captained by David Kirk, and remembering that Auckland don't have John Kerwin in this team. Well, great moment for Francois Pienaar. He's led the side with great success. Transvaal perhaps having a little bit easier of the draw in their Pool B as against Auckland.
The final score, 2017 to Transvaal, a breathtaking end to a pulsating encounter. The teams had flown thousands of miles across the oceans. The games had been hard, the interest intense, and against the odds, Transvaal had come up trumps. Now the domestic competition took centre stage, and the 3 times winners of the Lion Cup had already made a cracking start to the 1993 competition with easy wins over South Eastern Transvaal and the Blue Bulls, who were having their worst season in many a year. Natal had also experienced a few problems en route to the Lion Cup final at Ellis Park on the 18th of September. By now, the Springboks were back from their campaign down under, and 7 of the forwards packed down for Transvaal. But the friendships cemented in Australia were put on hold as an angry mood took hold from the opening exchanges.
To start the game, Natal playing from right to left. Good hanging kick. Andrews went in very quickly for Natal. Good recovery play by the Transvaal forwards. Roo waiting. Allen came round very quickly offside. Well, a little bit of a scuffle there between the 2 captains, and the referee has changed his decision around, and now it's a penalty for Natal in a very kickable position.
That's always been one of the strengths of Fred Burger. He's his maximum control in a match, and quite rightly, Transvaal there erring, and in fact Francois Pienaar on that occasion really just giving it away. But what was for me interesting was John Allen coming around the fringes on Johan Roo's right foot there, and surely that's going to be an area that Natal are going to concentrate on to try and stop Johan Roo with those rolling kicks or those big high kicks down close to the touchline.
Well, Joel Stransky, if he kicks this, he will have 1,000 points in first-class rugby. Very kickable position for him. And no mistake at all, Joel Stransky opening Natal's account very early on the Natal bench. Love it. Hannes Stradom, vital man for Transvaal in the lineouts, using a 2-manner now. Stradom went up ahead, got it back there to Uli Schmidt. Penalty to Transvaal within kicking distance, and Gavin Johnson comes over quickly.
variance of tactics here by the Transvaalers, with the ball going back to Uli Schmidt from Hunter Strait. And watch how he goes down. Over the top goes John Allen, and Gary Teichmann coming as well, just over the top there. And of course both sides very G'd up in these early minutes of the game, and that's the time you've really got to watch and control what you do on the field.
Well, he missed a conversion last week to get his 200 points, and this kick just about as difficult. Meter in from touch. He'll have to start his routine all over again.
Well, you see Guy Kevill there in the background started advancing rather sheepishly towards Gavin Johnson, not too sure whether he could charge him down.
There's a bit of quite a stiff breeze actually blowing slightly at Gavin's back. How many golfers wouldn't have followed through and hit that one? And it looks pretty good. It's a brilliant kick by Gavin Johnson. Natal have moved the play up to just inside the Transvaal half. You see, Transvaal won't be at all happy with that percentage. I'm sure Kix Christie will be sitting in his sick bed, shaking his head. And really not very good performance by Transvaal in the lineouts.
I think we have to take into account too that both sides have not always thrown the ball in straight either. There's been a lot of blow-ups for that.
Keith Andrews went very high. Blakeway came round quickly. Kebbel looking a little bit bemused. Duprier, Stransky taking it very short. Plumtree on the charge. Good counter-attack there by Pinar and Henny LaRue. Henny LaRue did very well. This is good shoving by the Transvaalers. They must be careful to tell that they don't collapse it. Good play by Muir as they get away there. Peter Muller on the run now. Gets it away to Andre Joubert. Cabos van der Westhuizen perhaps a pass a little bit too early, but James Small is in there for the try. The touch judge goes around. The referee will award the try. Brilliant try by Natal.
Well, just reward for some terrific play from James Small. Bearing in mind he'd come across from the right wing to join that move. And there's some really good playing just before that from Peter Muller, who shrugged off the tackle from Bernard Free. Now watch how well Cabos van der Westhuizen gets the pass in before he gets tackled. Does James Small hit the corner flag as he goes over?
No, good decision, I think, that by the touch judge, Gavin. The drive from the Natal forwards. Hutton went in there. Now it's Kubus Visa. Pops it back there and intercepted by John Allen. Francois Pienaar makes a good tackle. Allen lays it back well, taken on by Atherton. He bounced Hunter Stradom off him. Good driving now. There's a bit of a Barney going on between Robert Dupree and Barley Swart. Also Springbok teammates in Australia. There's no love lost in this game. Roux, back to LaRue. Difficult position for him to get the ball, and then Stransky in with a thumping tackle. 15 points to 11, Transvaal still lead. Visa closing up by Transvaal, lifting, says the referee. Transvaal have camped in the Natal half for the last 10 minutes, and this will be welcome relief for Natal. Stransky. That's a good kick by Stransky. Dick Muir was up very quickly. Fair catch by Johnson, and he gets applause from his own teammates. Courageous catch there by the fullback. And that's a bit of a hash-up of a punt by Gavin Johnson. We've seen that once or twice.
The Natal line came under increasing pressure, and finally it was an injudicious kick upfield by Andre Joubert that enabled quick-thinking Henny LaRue to seal the Banana Boys' fate.
Charge, look at this big man go! Peter Muller coming in for the tackle. Great tackle by Muller. Now the ball popped up to Ian McDonald. Roux gets a long ball to Yapi Mulder. Transvaal must score here. Johnson, Peter Hendricks. Wonderful run by the big man, Rudolph Stroley, and he popped the ball up. Roux had read it so well, and the man who looks like an amateur boxer gets his try.
all started with that tentative kick from Andre Jabeur at the back. Henny Leroux collects, watch the inside pass now to Rudolph Strali, running off the ball with pace, and that's so important. He's a big man, but he's quick. And then just watch how well the Transvaal has managed to rake this back then. Strali was alone for a while. The long pass out, there were plenty of men on the outside. Now Hendricks takes the ball, he's got a man on his outside, but he knows he's got pace and strength.
That's the Transvaal mascot. In fact, it's not, it's the Lion Cup mascot. Hannes Stradum, Kobus Wieser in front of him. Then Bali Swart in front of that. Tapped back by Stradum, free kick to Natal. Can they just get some pride back, because the referee must be into injury time now. De Peer wanted to take quickly, popping it back up to the forwards. This is Teichmann. Good tackle by Schmidt, ever competitive. Now the charge from Blakeway, popping it back to Stransky. This is Allen. Good tackle by Pinar. Natal forwards driving in again to try and pop it back to De Peer. Here it comes now. He's got Andrews on the outside of him. MacDonald goes in with a tackle after Bali Swat, or Heinrich Rogers had done the initial work. Allen gets it back to De Peer. Stransky, Plumtree, held up by Henny Leroux, who's defended well. Now Peter Muller on the run around was De Peer. Honeyball bottled up there by the two Transvaal centres for Ian Mulder.
Tempers were still frayed at the final whistle. Robert Dupree angrily threw the ball at Henny Leroux as the teams came off to underscore the sour mood in which the match had been played. But Transvaal were deserving victors in this, their fourth Lion Cup triumph, and despite the acrimony, a sweet moment for skipper Francois Pinard.
To my team, guys, it's been a long season, but you've got the faces of champions. You played like stars. With you, we can go any place. To our coach, to Dr. Lake, Doc, thank you for your leadership of the field. You're fantastic. And then to our coach, he's in the hospital. He's very ill. You know, I sent a message to him. I told him it's a good way to miss a final. He couldn't take the pressure. To him, I want to say, Coach, you're a star. This is for you. Thank you very much.
By now it was certain that the Red Lions and Natal would also contest the Banklin Currie Cup final, which was a month away. Incredibly, Transvaal, so dominant during the year, would experience yet another hiccup against Western Province at Newlands on the 25th of September. But the 42-32 defeat was a timely reminder that the Currie Cup was far from won.
Run in there from Jaco Top. There's an opportunity for Western Province. Lawless trying to find men on the inside. That's a lovely run there by Kirsten. Can he pick up his man? And in fact, this is going to be a try to Christian Scholes. Lovely running off the ball there by Christian Scholes. But the initial break coming from Michael Kirsten, that scrum half.
Well, that'll make those Western Province supporters absolutely delighted. Now watch for the support of Michael Kirsten. Now that's Gavin Lawless up in the line. Nice little dummy by him. Here comes Kirsten. He read it very well indeed. And Christian Scholes, see Christian Scholes saying, I'm right on your shoulder. Sees that opening and then bang. Little over-eager there by the Transvaal forwards. Heinrich Rogers, who did so well last week against the mighty Guy Kebble. Harry Roberts is still uncomfortable.
So now when you're ready.
Transvaal will definitely try and get Province a little off balance here with the... See how Roo goes around and then lends his weight. Look at this. Look at Roo. Now you see Western Province just breaking up at the wrong moment. If they stop this, it could be a penalty try. Try given. Well, that's really an eighth manner, but the man getting up there is Rudolf Stroili.
Poor reading of this scrum down by Western Province. The loose forwards pulled themselves out, and of course that just increased the pressure that was on them. Transvaal got that going slightly to the left, which also helped a bit, and then Strali with a simple pick up and over he went.
Since coming down to Cape Town from the Transvaal, represented Northern Transvaal and Transvaal at under 20 level. Look at the powerful legs of Shirley. Little touch through by Johnson. Williams in a bit of trouble. Good play by Lawless. Stays on his feet well. A lot of red and white jerseys around him. Shouts quickly to the point to break down. Kirsten Celia. Scores. And there's Tauta with a little touch through. Possibly a little late tackle there by Bernard Fourie. Simon Berridge went through so quickly. That's Fitz van Heerden in possession now. Kirsten feeding a short side. This is Wegner. Big Springbok look forward, and now this could be scores again. Scores in for a second try.
The 16th of October dawned bright and clear, and thousands streamed to Kings Park for the 1993 final. Natal were confident. Transvaal had, after all, not won a Currie Cup final since 1972.
Transvaal's glory years were the first half of the century, when they recorded 3 of their 4 victories in Currie Cup finals. The Transvaal Lions last engraved their name on the trophy in 1972, and despite taking part in 5 finals in the last 20 years, this coveted trophy has eluded them ever since. In '86 they were beaten by Province, and the next year at Ellis Park, a brilliant Naas Botha stood between them and the cup. After losing to Northerns in '91 and last year to Natal, winning the Currie Cup has now become perhaps an obsession with the Vaal.
In skipper Val Bartman, the Banana Boys felt they had a trump card. Francois Pienaar took a calculated risk in bringing out his team 10 minutes before the scheduled start to soak up the atmosphere. The gamble paid off as the Red Lions absorbed both the pressure from the passionate Natal fans and their determined team.
And a huge responsibility on that man, Francois Pienaar. He's shown himself to be a good ambassador for South Africa and for Transvaal, and he's just got to pull his men through. Some people say that they might have too many chiefs, but Francois Pienaar has the strength of personality to calm those men down and bring them through, as Val Bartman has for Natal. We've seen so many black and white shirts around this field, but I can assure you there are also all the red and white shirts as well, and that's fanatic Natal support for you.
Val Bartman, of course, as captain today. Well, one wonders if the Italians are not relying too much on his capabilities today, but perhaps they've thought that one through. But very definitely the Transvaalers are going to have to curb his runs and put him on the ground. He's incredibly strong on his feet, and the most important thing is always going straight forward. And that close and support that he's had from the Italians when he's played for them this season has been largely the launching pad for the victories that they've had, but take nothing away from the Transvaalers. I think in the last 2 seasons they've probably played the best total rugby in the Currie Cup, and they're obviously a well-experienced side and very used to playing together. So a battle deluxe, and we've seen that very few people have been prepared to actually voice an opinion on what is going to happen today.
Just waiting still to clear the field a little bit as the crowd now get behind Natal. Gavin Johnson just having to replace the ball. So Transvaal will want to, if they're going to pull this off, they'll need to run up a little bit of a lead. The breeze starting to blow a little bit stronger, and here we go. Gary Teichmann takes him well for Natal, and immediately a penalty to Transvaal. And that was for obstruction.
Vanger van die bal, obstructie agter hom.
And the obstruction came there from the Transvaal side of the field by Steve Atherton. There's the catch by Teichmann. Steve Atherton, watch him coming through. There he is in the middle of our picture, moving his way round. Well, the Italians will question, was he perhaps a little bit harshly dealt with on that occasion, but referee Berger, perhaps first blood here for Transvaal, and this will be a very good indicator of just how well the kickers are going to fare today. We've seen them really battling in recent weeks here at the stadium with the weather as it is, and believe me, this wind is blowing across Gavin Johnson there. He's had to call up somebody to come and hold the ball for him. Just a little fingertip there from Peter Hendricks, and the wind will be going across the poles from where Gavin Johnson's kicking, so he'll be looking to probably aim at the left hand upright.
Well, he and Henny LaRue flew down yesterday. The rest of the Transvaal team only came down this morning, and they came to do some practicing yesterday afternoon, so he should have done it well, and that's an awful attempt. Now they've got Kibble in support, but it goes to Shansky Muir, and a good tackle there by Bernard Fourie on Teichmann. Penalty to Natal. Natal's driving. The driving play really been a telling factor by the Natal forwards. And then you heard from Mr. Friekberger that the Transvaal players had gone off their feet. So this is directly in front of the uprights and not too distant.
Teichmann try to find his way down the middle behind the advantage line. Now try and pick up the Transvaalers as they go off their feet onto that ball. There over the top they come. Well, Yui, these also are never easy kicks on a day like this at Kings Park. It's right in front for Joel Stransky. He does know his way around the park, but really very definitely will need to just keep a level head here and just swing his ball through, his foot through. It's so vital that one of the sides get into place now, and for Natal this is their great opportunity.
Been a very good period of play last couple of minutes for Natal. Stransky keeps his head down, no mistake.
That kick was well judged by Joel Stransky. We made a bit of a meal of telling you that it was not going to be that easy, despite the fact that it was in front of the poles, but there's a swirling wind. Natal's referee Berger just allowing the advantage to carry on. Transvaal, Natal have the ball. There's the control. Kevin Putt with a long kick through. That's well fielded there by Peter Hendricks. Hendricks looking to try and open up. He'll have to try and find more support from the Transvaalers, moving away from them. Good ball to LaRue, Mulder trying to find space down the middle. Good support play there from LaRue. Pinov, as ever, just right up on his tail. Once again, a good ball for LaRue with a little chip kick ahead. And the Westhuizen trying to repair. He'll have to try and stay on his feet here. Bartman in close. The Italians doing extremely well.
They'll have to be careful now, Gavin, because Andre Joubert is trapped in the middle there. You can see him on the far side, but Bartman comes away with the ball. Good play by the Natal skipper again. Now Putt gets it around the far side to Joubert. And the hack down the field brings a roar from the crowd.
Come on.
Kevin Putt doesn't like something that one of the Transvaalers is doing. Teichmann will let it come back a little slowly again. Putt. McDonald went for the charge down. Hendricks is under it. Small is up there. James Small hasn't really had a touch on the ball. Dick Muir reads the play well. He gets around there so well. Now Pienaar works it loose for Transvaal. Help from Heinrich Rogers. They're trying to drive through the middle. Bartman pulls it down. The boots flying. This is Henny LaRue. The wind taking it a little bit further than it had intended. Now under Joubert, thumping tackle by LaRue. And directly into touch. Well, Henny, and the referee's given the penalty for the late tackle. Saw the touch judge on the far side, just standing there, indicating to Friekberger where the ball had gone out. And another chance for Joel Stransky.
Well, one of the reasons why Henny LaRue, of course, has been chosen at centre is his tremendous defensive capabilities, but they're just overplaying his hand. Difficult situation for any players. Andre Joubert, watch him, he's virtually the ball's on his boot, through comes LaRue. You're always off balance and you fall a lot harder in those sort of circumstances. But once again, an opportunity for Stransky. Well, Yui, once again, a vital kick for him, a bit further out. Let's see if he can get that judgment right.
Certainly a lot more difficult than his first kick. perfect view of it. Oh, he struck it absolutely magnificently. That's a great kick by Joel Stransky. Henny LaRue will be a little bit upset by that because after all the ball did change direction after Andre Yabert had kicked it, and that very often is an indication of a late tackle, but that very, very well taken penalty by Joel Stransky. Teichmann takes for Natal, support from Andrews. Putt gets a good ball. This is Stransky, nice footwork by him, gives himself much more time. And Bobby Black has his flag up in that position out there, 10 meters away from the Natal 22. Didn't quite see, I think Bartman got in the way. Stransky was intending to give it to to Jabert rather. Now Peter Hendricks. James Small is up there. This is Peter Hendricks. He gets past Dick Muir. Doesn't get past Peter Muller though. Peter Muller turned him well and a penalty to Transvaal. And this now really is the moment of truth for Gavin Johnson.
Well, we got the message very clearly from Ed Walsh here in the dressing room, in the commentary box, that he had a 75% strike rate at practice, but of course that's eluded him today. And of course his kicks are getting more and more difficult too, because he's close to the halfway line. He does have the wind behind him. This was the drive through. Hendricks did well to pick that up and find the shortest gap through, but then ran straight into Peter Muller. And there you see Mark Andrews simply coming in from the side and going over the top, preventing the ball coming out.
Johnson takes this reasonably quickly, and what has happened now? It's 3 points to Transvaal, and their first points on the board.
At half-time, Natal led 9-3, and 6 minutes later they looked to have the match wrapped up when a heavily concussed Francois Pienaar had to be helped from the park. Dion Lotter took his place, and he, along with Ian MacDonald and Rudolph Strali, galvanized the Transvaal pack, now playing into the wind. Then came the long-awaited breakthrough, courtesy of Gavin Johnson, the find of the season.
Visa to Stradom. Teichmann reads it well again. It was Bali Swart who went very quickly in for Transvaal. Now the long pass there from Bernard Fourie to Yapi Mulder. He's held up by Dick Muir. Cobus Visa got there pretty quickly, and a penalty being awarded to Transvaal. The referee waiting for advantage. This is Schmidt-Strali, nice hands. Now Gavin Johnson on the charge. Then he finds support on the outside, and it pops up into Heinrich Rogers' hands. The referee's still going to give that penalty if Transvaal don't get an advantage. Now Roux trying to find space. Henny LaRue on the charge. He nearly got through under the poles. And then who's this now? Johnson making it. Johnson's right through. Johnson was bounded over underneath the uprights. It was continued pressure by the Transvaalers, and eventually Gavin Johnson, just being almost in the right position at the right moment, saw, he couldn't believe his eyes, and that's his 13th try of the season.
Oh, we need to give full marks to the referee for allowing play to continue with that advantage of the domination of Transvaal. Roux did well to get the initial surge through. Now look at that run through from Henny LaRue, one of his strengths, running off the ball. You'll see Johnson coming into picture. There's the pickup, straight through the middle. Now, was he going to make it by himself? Well, one wonders, but Rudolph Strali was the man that helped him over.
So all the points in the game just to two players. Gavin Johnson taking the conversion of his try himself, and that's his
a Dream Cup final debut for Johnson, who would go on to win South African Barbarians and Springbok colours in a golden season. But now the Bartman factor had been neutralised, and Natal found themselves desperately short of ideas. Just on full time, Uli Schmidt put the issue beyond doubt after a nightmare moment for Cobus van der Westhuizen. For Schmidt, the moment was particularly satisfying, for he'd achieved his lifelong dream of scoring a try in a cup final.
Have to hurry at 3 minutes on the official clock. Going to be some weary legs. And now Ian MacDonald gets it for Transvaal. This is Roo. He'll just want to keep doing that. Kabose van der Westhuizen. Oh, he slipped, and this is an awful situation for him. Will Uli Smith score? He said he's never scored in the Currie Cup final, and he does it now.
Well, just look at that elation there from the Transvaal supporters, his fellow teammates, and what a great opportunist is Uli Schmidt. There's been so much talk of his career ending shortly, maybe at the end of this season, and what a great way to finish it off if that in fact turns out to be the case.
I talked to him at practice on Tuesday, and he said, I've never scored in a Currie Cup final, and it's about time.
Well, Kabose van der Westhuizen just couldn't get in close enough. One feels that maybe he should have got himself into a better position. Uli Schmidt did well to cover that. The little chip kick ahead, the cover from Chris Dirks, Bernard Fourie, and Johan Roo, the starter of that move. Just look at Francois Pienaar. He's out of the changing room. That light concussion seems to be a thing of the past. And have you seen a happier man?
Well, it'll be interesting to see which captain goes up to receive the trophy. Johnson won't want to be in a hurry to take this one. And will it swing in? No, he hooked it a little bit too much. Well, it's still not all over for Natal. James Small takes the kick quickly, but what happened now? Didn't quite pick up what happened there here, Gavin, as we see that awful bounce for Kabose van der Westhuizen, and Uli Schmidt is so good in these situations.
Well, one fancies that the referee was not happy from the position in which that kickoff was taken. That quick kickoff, he's asked Stransky to take it again.
Stransky will want to take quickly now. Dion Lotter goes on the charge. Johan Roo gets. Bartman gives him close attention. The kick ahead by LaRue. Now Andre Joubert will have to open this up. Kabose van der Westhuizen is there. Chris Dirks is there now. Mark Andrews on the charge. Uli Schmidt comes in with a thumping tackle. Visa goes in. Bartman picks up again. Bartman tries to take. Transvaal is content to do that, but it's a penalty to Natal. Schmidt is the man penalised, coming in the wrong side. Kevin Putt takes quickly. Now Atherton on the charge. Blakeway just using those last saps of energy. Good pass by Putt. Now Dick Muir. Now Peter Muller. Now it's Kabose van der Westhuizen on the outside. They can't find Natal hands to give it to. Teichmann is snagged by Stradom. This is James Small. And he tries to open up to Peter Muller. I think the ref will call him back for a forward pass.
After 21 long years, the Currie Cup would return to Ellis Park. A fabulous end to a fabulous season. It was thanks to dedicated men like Cobus Visa, Francois Pienaar, indeed every man who had pulled the Transvaal jersey over his head, that the Red Lions could now claim to be the premier provincial side in the Southern Hemisphere, if not in the world. The Mnet Night Series, the Top Sports Super 10, the Lion Cup, the Currie Cup. In 1993, Transvaal won the Lions' share.